Welcome back, everyone, to the program. I've got an interesting one for you today. Let's get right into it in a moment. But before I do, I have to remember to say, please, if you like content like this, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this with someone, help us grow the channel. Let them know that there's people out there that know what we're talking about so we can help you guys to make intelligent decisions as we educate you, both here on my channel and over at Economic Preppers and working with Dylan and all those guys. So let's dig right into it. This is the story I wanted to cover today. It came out a couple of days ago, but had some microphone issues while I was driving, regardless, but we're jumping right into it. So I'm going to let me share my screen. This is about a story that's talking about Japan, and they're exploring, and I'll put that in air quotes, Japan's government is exploring an investment in Bitcoin. Okay. Now, this was covered over at Zero Hedge too, but I went directly to Bitcoin Magazine to get the direct story about it. Let me blow this up a little bit larger here. So Japan's Government Pension Investment Fund, or GPIF, whatever, their pension fund is the world's largest pension fund. Okay. And I think it says later in here, it's like 97% of people in Japan have some money involved in this. They have over $1.5 trillion US dollars in assets. They announced it will explore diversifying a portion of its portfolio into Bitcoin. They haven't said how much, but they're saying that they're looking at it. Now, it said it's seeking a basic knowledge about the assets targeted. Let's see. I know I have a little bit more. Here we go. The exploration comes as Japan passed new laws established enabling investment funds to hold Bitcoin directly. That's important, kind of like a spot ETF. It indicates a broader move towards legitimizing Bitcoin within the world's third largest economy, referring back to Japan. Japan manages pensions for over 67 million Japanese citizens. Currently, 97% of its holdings are domestic and foreign bonds and stocks. That doesn't really tell you much, I think. The key takeaway here is with over $1.5 trillion at its disposal, even a tiny allocation to Bitcoin by the fund could significantly impact prices and further legitimize Bitcoin. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to show a little bit, I'll do a little bit of math on the side, but I want to give you some idea of what the implications are. So let me share two other things. So first off, this is from a tweet I found. I think it's from Thomas Fair. Again, I'll put the links in the description. This is the ETF Bitcoin holdings over time. This is all the different ETFs. There's only 10 reflected here. There should be 11. But okay, this shows like what the holdings are since January. So in January, they had over 600,000. And now as of mid-March, they had over 800,000. So as a order of magnitude, they've added 200,000 Bitcoin. You can also see that, the GPTC, which is Grayscale, they've been going down in their holdings, but a lot of the other ones have been going up. So, but the net change is 200,000 of Bitcoin. Okay, 200,000 of Bitcoin. So what does that mean? 200,000 Bitcoin have been purchased by ETFs since middle of June. Let's take a look at look at the price of Bitcoin since January. Since the middle of January. So January, you're looking at about 43,000, and now today we're looking at about 65,000. So call it about a $20,000 price move for Bitcoin in the last 2-ish months, and they've added 200,000 of Bitcoin. So 20,000 of Bitcoin. Now they've injected. Let's just say that their average purchase price is 50,000. So I'll take 50,000. Let me jump out of here, and I'm going to do some real-time math. So let's see, $50,000 average price of Bitcoin times 200,000 Bitcoin. They've injected about $1 billion. I think that's right. I'm trying to get the numbers right. They've injected about $1 billion into Bitcoin. Let me do that one more time. 50,000 times 200,000. That's 1 to the 10. That's $10 billion of funds that have come into Bitcoin, into the market, into the market cap. With $10 billion of ETF, $10 billion coming from the ETFs, Bitcoin is going up from 40,000 up to 65,000. That's with $10 billion coming in. Going back to the Japan story, let me go back to I won't share my screen. It's $1.5 trillion. So I'm going to say that $1.5 trillion, let's just say they take 1%. So now you're looking at $15 billion. $15 billion represents about the same kind of number. So 1% of that money coming in as came in for the ETFs. You could look at another 20,000 being tacked on just from the pension fund at 1%. And that's just the biggest, that is the biggest pension fund. But look at the other countries and other pension funds will be adding on to. So you can see, like, we went from 40,000 to 65,000, and they're not done yet. They're still adding. ETFs are still buying. Then you add Japan looking at add, and I'm just saying 1%. So there's an easy path to get from 60,000 up to 80,000. So the path is there to get to 100, 120, 125. And it does not take, this is an important takeaway here. It does not take another $1 billion injected into Bitcoin to move the market cap up $1 billion. Again, let me share those numbers one more time. And I think it's really important to take away here. So let me share my screen one more time. We'll talk about the math real quick. This is what we know. Okay, well, we know two things. There's been 200,000 Bitcoin purchased since the middle of January to middle of March, roughly speaking, from the ETFs. That's the ETFs alone. 200,000 Bitcoin times an average price of about 50,000 of Bitcoin. That's so 200,000. Now you have 200 million times another 50. You're looking at $1 billion worth of value being thrown into Bitcoin. Move the price from 40 to 65. The market cap went up a third, and the market cap of Bitcoin is about $1.2 trillion. So it went from 800 billion to 1.2 trillion. You said a 50% gain, and that was just from an injection of about $10 billion. So again, you move the market cap from 800 billion to 1.2 trillion, but it only took about, what was it, like $10 billion, $15 billion? So they moved it like a 10x move, or maybe more, like 40x. I'm doing math in real time, but my point is that because the way this works is that, let me try and slow it down a little bit. They moved the market 50%, right? They took Bitcoin from 40K to 60K, and that's 0.8 trillion to 1.2 trillion. So they added $400 billion of market cap, but they injected roughly $20 billion. So that's like a 20x of moving the entire market cap. So the net is like, by injecting, so for every dollar they put in, they get a 20x in the net market cap, which means all the Bitcoin went up in value. So what I'm saying is, like, by injecting, if you inject $1 billion into the market cap, you're going to get a $20 billion net result, because the reason that works is because there's not that much Bitcoin available for sale. All the Bitcoin goes up in value because every Bitcoin that they buy and take away from the market, the liquidity drops and the available Bitcoin drops as well. So each incremental Bitcoin that's available for sale goes up because it's harder to get. So that's something to think about, something to consider. So as more and more funds, as more and more avenues of funding comes into Bitcoin, you're going to see not just an incremental step, you're going to see like giant steps. Like while the ETFs have added 20K of net value in the market for the last 2 months, the next injection, it could be a 40K move or a 60K move, and Bitcoin will continue that exponential rise because of the net effect of the asset being so illiquid. So there's only so much Bitcoin. So the fact that it's hard to get, hard to acquire, this is why we've been talking about so much over Economic Preppers about when is that supply going to run out? When are they going to run out? And we talked about that in our last AMA. And if those of you still on, if you want to join our AMA, it's in the description. We talk about that what the window is to get Bitcoin, and it's not forever, folks. You have to get Bitcoin now, and by the time that the average person is going to want to get into Bitcoin, it could be too late. So lots to think about, lots for you to comment on. I'd love to hear your feedback on this one. I know I was a little bit all over the place with the math, but I'm just trying to say that pensions are coming, big funds are coming, and it's not dollar for dollar to get those Bitcoin prices going up. For every Bitcoin that they buy, all the value of every single Bitcoin goes up. So lots said today. Leave a comment down below. Again, like, share, subscribe, really helps with the channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.